Robert Lewandowski, Erling Braut Haaland, Romelu Lukaku, Karim Benzema, and Harry Kane are my best strikers in the world at the moment. And I'm raising statistics from last season to justify my position. Abdulhamid Abdulkarim is my name, and you can also call me Football News. And you are welcome back to my YouTube channel after a while of absence. So let's start our ranking. Alright, number 1 on the list is Robert Lewandowski, who scored 46 goals in 35 games in both the German Bundesliga and UEFA Champions League last season. Not only did he record the most goals, and when you break it down, he had the most goals per game, the most goal contribution per game. And also, he was not only a consumer, he was also a producer. He recorded the most goal creating action. A goal creating action are the last 2 offensive actions before a goal is scored, whether a foul is committed on the player or whether a pass is given to the person that makes the assist. Alright, and we also look at his defensive output was also brilliant. 28%, or he won 28% of his tackles. And when you look at the pressure, he won 33% of his pressures were successful. A pressure is an attempt to get the ball back from a player in possession of the ball or a player who is just receiving the ball. And only Haaland recorded more area duel success than Robert Lewandowski last season. Robert Lewandowski is an all-round player, and you've got to agree with me. I equate Lewandowski to that lady which majority of us want. Yes, I don't know about you, but I know I want such a lady who is physically endowed, who is good in the kitchen and also good in the other room. Who like better thing. Number 2 on the list is Erling Braut Haaland. Yes, he's from Norway, so the Norwegians call him Haaland. Alright, he netted 37 goals in 36 games last season, and he recorded the second most goals per game, the second most goal contribution per game. The most impressive thing about Haaland was that 54% of his shots were on target. 54, and he was the only person that reached the 50% mark. And we all know when he scored 50% of 100, that's a pass. So he was the only one that passed this metric. And if not for Lewandowski scoring more goals than Haaland, he would have recorded most goals from his shot on target. The reason why I'm emphasizing on the shot, because without a shot there can be no goal. So it's very good for a striker to be a good shooter of the ball. And defensively was also brilliant. He recorded the second most blocks. A block is when a player stands in the path of a pass, and he also recorded the second most successful pressures. 31% of his pressures were successful. Haaland was also a beast in the air. 49% he won 49% of his area duel success. 49% of his area duels. And lastly, it will be interesting to know that he was the least dispossessed of these players. Despite being the youngest, it was very difficult for the opposition to get the ball back from him. At number 3 is Romelu Lukaku, who scored 28 goals in 41 appearances in both the UEFA Champions League and the Italian Serie A last season for Inter Milan. He recorded the most goal per game, the 3rd most goal per game, and also the 3rd most goal contribution per game. And he also came second when you're talking about shot on target. 48% of his shots were on target. And he was also, not just like Robert Lewandowski, he was also a producer of goals. Not only was he a consumer, and that was why he recorded at least 4 shots creating action. His shots creating action are the last 2 offensive actions before a shot is taken. For you to fully understand this, go watch the highlight between Belgium and Denmark, where he was neither involved. He didn't record a goal, neither did he record an assist, but yet he was named the man of the match. At number 4 is Karim Benzema, who netted 29 goals in 44 appearances for Real Madrid last season. I mean, when you have 5 of the best cars in your compound, one has got to be the finest. So Karim Benzema for me is the finest of these players. All right, he recorded the third most goal contribution per game, excluding penalties, and he was also the fourth player who is the most shots on target. I mean, what the most impressive thing about Benzema was his involvement in the build-up. He recorded the most touches, and he also recorded the most carries of the ball. When you carry the ball towards an opposition, that is what we refer to as carries. And he completed 62% of his dribbles. And not only was he fantastic in the build-up, he was also fantastic defensively. He won 62% of his tackles. I mean, the second person on the list was Lewandowski, who could only manage 28%. You could see the distance between both of them, just like the distance between the heaven and the earth. And he recorded the most defensive action also. A defensive action is a tackle plus interception. And the last person on the list is Harry Kane. Harry Kane netted 26 goals in the 40 appearances for Tottenham Hotspur last season in both the Premier League and in the Europa League, to be precise. And the reason why he sits on this list is because he recorded the least goals. He recorded the least. He recorded the least shots on target. Harry Kane recorded 32% of Harry Kane's shots were on target. Sorry, 36% of his shots were on target. That's an F. So, and a striker is as good as a shot, because when there's no shots, there's no goals. Just like you judge a musician by how good his music is and not how good he looks or how rich he is. You judge a striker by his goals and how good he can and how good is he when shooting the ball. And every other thing about him was fantastic. You could see that defensively he had the most recoveries. He recorded the second most defensive action, and he recorded the most blocks. Of course, when you are playing for his player, for a coach that plays around football, he's brought it top the charts. Alright, this is where I shall be joining the coordinates. Let me know in the comment section whether you agree with my position. Alright, you can check out my statistics, the validity of my statistics from everywhere.com. Make it no be like say that's like my day and they give you. Alright, kindly like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and share this video with friends. Thanks for watching.